In this video, we're learning about the structures of proteins. So we'll cover the four main levels of protein structure, the bonds involved at each level, and then also how these structures then build up in order to form complex proteins. Let's start by talking about the levels of protein structure. With proteins, there are four main levels you need to know about: the primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, and quaternary structure. The important thing here is that these levels all interact to determine a protein's overall unique shape and properties. For each of these levels, we'll look at what it means, the specific type of bonds it involves, and a representation of its shape as well. First up, we have the primary structure, which is the most basic level and is simply a sequence of amino acids linked together. These amino acids are connected by strong peptide bonds, forming a polypeptide chain that looks a bit like this, where each of the different coloured spheres are different amino acids, and the lines joining them together are the peptide bonds. Next, the secondary structure introduces more complexity to the polypeptide chain, as the interactions between amino acids cause the chain to coil or fold in specific ways. This is due to hydrogen bonds that form between the amino group and the carboxyl group of two different amino acids that are not right next to each other in the chain. These can cause coiled arrangements like this one to form, which is called an alpha-helix, where the blue shape is a simplified representation of the polypeptide chain, and these dashed lines here are the hydrogen bonds forming between one amino acid and another amino acid further down the chain. Alternatively, these interactions can cause a zigzag shape like this one to form, and this is called a beta-pleated sheet. In a beta-pleated sheet, the hydrogen bonds forming between different amino acids in the polypeptide chain cause the chain to fold instead of coil. And something important here is that this coiling or folding in the secondary structure is more repetitive and therefore easily predictable than the structures are in the next level up, the tertiary structure. This tertiary structure is where the polypeptide chain folds and twists into a unique three-dimensional shape. The structure is stabilised by various bonds and interactions, including hydrogen bonds, which are weak individually but strong collectively, ionic bonds between positive and negative R groups on different amino acids, disulfide bridges that exist between sulfur-containing R groups, and hydrophobic and hydrophilic interactions between polar and non-polar R groups. And importantly here, it's this complex folding that gives the protein its specific function. Finally, we have the quaternary structure, where proteins become even more complex. And this level only occurs when two or more polypeptide chains join together. The quaternary structure involves similar bonds to those found in the tertiary structure, so hydrogen bonds, ionic bonds, disulfide bridges, and hydrophobic and hydrophilic interactions. But the important thing about the quaternary structure is that it always involves multiple polypeptide chains. Now, sometimes these proteins might also include something called prosthetic groups as well. And these are just non-protein groups, so things like carbohydrates or lipids that are attached to the polypeptide chains. The quaternary structure isn't always present though, as some proteins are just made up of one single polypeptide chain.
If you haven't heard yet, you can find all of our videos on our website, cognito.org. You'll also find questions, flashcards, exam-style questions, and past papers. And we track all of your progress so that you always know what to study next. So sign up for free by clicking here, or browse our playlist here on YouTube.